Today's podcast is brought to you by Visa. With the capacity to process over 65,000 transaction messages every second, Visa has been bringing innovations to the way we pay for over 60 years. Imagine a world where instead of just tapping to pay with your Visa, you had to wait for everyone in front of you to cut a check everywhere you went. Imagine how much fun it'd be trying to track down your cousin in Milwaukee for league dues. That's why Visa's vision is to be the best way to pay and be paid everywhere, so you won't have to. Whatever your goals are, Visa makes paying fast and easy. The only thing left to figure out is, where would you like to be? Visa, everywhere you want to be. Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Wow, hi, Jenny.
Hey.
Man, I witnessed a coronation last night.
Ooh.
It wasn't the passing of the torch, it was the passing of the crown.
Coronation.
Yikes, Shannon.
Way to be a prisoner of the moment, Skip.
Yep. Here we go.
So that's what we do now.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do.
Oh, my gosh. Packed show this morning. Do you agree that with Jerry Jones that the Cowboys coaching gang is really, that good of a job? Is it that good of a coaching job? And why was Lonzo Ball benched for the entire fourth quarter?
Why?
We'll go there, but first
Why?
we got to start with the Clippers and Lakers from last night. Kawhi Leonard took the first game in the battle for Los Angeles as the Clippers beat the Lakers 112-102. Kawhi dropped a game-high 30 points on 10 for 19 shooting. LeBron had 18 points, and Anthony Davis had a 25-10 rebound performance, but it was Danny Green who had the Lakers team high with 28 points. The Lakers bench was outscored 60-19 by the Clippers. So, Shannon, what did last night tell you?
Skip, it's hard for me to believe that there are two better teams that's going to come out of the Western Conference than these two teams, what I saw last night.
Don't sleep on the Rockets, but go ahead.
The Rockets, obviously Utah and Denver is going to be pretty good, but, man, what I saw last night, Skip, the Lakers obviously have some things they need to work on. This is different for LeBron. LeBron is basically turned into a full-time facilitator. And I think in the process of doing that, it got him out of his rhythm, Skip. He made a conscious, concerted effort to try to get the ball to Anthony Davis. He was not looking for his shot at all last night, and I think it threw him off a rhythm because normally in the previous 16 years, LeBron has always felt, I'll try to get my guys going because I know I can always get my shot. But I think as you get older, later in your career, Skip, you probably need to start looking for your shot a little earlier because things are not going to come as easy now as they did in the past. But LeBron was trying to find a rhythm. I don't believe he'll shoot. What did he shoot last night? He was 7 of 19. I don't believe he'll shoot 7 of 19 very many times this season. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. That's very, very ho-hum for LeBron James. Anthony Davis got out to a great start, kind of slowed down the stretch. And as Jenny read, the difference in this ball game was the bench.
Seriously.
We knew what type of bench the Clippers have. But, Skip, I've never seen anything. I've been following the NBA a long, long time. I've never seen anything like Lou Williams. Lou Williams really should be starting, and he really could start. He should start for the Clippers. He could start for a lot of teams, but he comes off the bench, and he's cool with that. But what's unique about him and Trez Harrell, Skip, they play starters minutes. You find very few bench role players that play more minutes than the superstar starters.
Right.
They played more minutes than Kawhi, which is unheard of. And that's not, and you don't be surprised if you see this happens more often than not. They will play more minutes, Lou Williams and Montrez, than Kawhi. Probably Paul George they'll probably rival Paul George. Paul is the guy that plays 38, that plays heavy minutes also. But Skip, the difference in the ball game was when Doc went to that shock troop. He brought Trez in. He brought Lou Williams in. That was really the difference in the ball game because I thought early in the ball game the Lakers were contesting everything at the rim, and then they brought those guys and they had a little lapse in judgment, a little lapse in defense. And the one thing that we know, night in, night out on a consistent basis in the West, you can have no lapse because guys can get hot, and we saw with Kawhi. Kawhi was basically under control in the first quarter, and then he caught fire in the second quarter, and then Lou Williams got hot. I mean, he was pulling up Trez is unbelievable because he's tremendous energy. He's going to play tremendous defense, Skip. He gives you great rebounding. He can score around the paint. But it's one game. You told me not to get all up. You know, if you win this game, that's just one game. So that's what you told me yesterday.
Yeah, but you told me that it was going to be a coronation for the Lakers last night.
It was.
Right?
You heard the crowd, right? You heard the crowd in that thing.
The
Boom,
Lakers,
Kawhi.
they booed him. He had to cover the mic at the first so he could keep talking.
Yeah, booed it.
Because the Laker fans took over a Clippers home game.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know. I heard it.
So much for him being he's going to be the king of L.A. He the new king of L.A. He can't be the king of his own house. Now, how you go home? How you go home, Jenny, and your kids and wife boo you, but another dude come in there and yay, he home. Stop it. Skip, look, you won the game. You played unbelievable last night. Kawhi was clearly the best player in the building last night. Give him his credit. They played unbelievable as a unit, and they didn't have to make. The only person that's really new is Kawhi. Doc Rivers is phenomenal. Everybody knows their role. The bench. Trez, everybody that's coming off that bench know their role. Right now, the Lakers are still trying to figure themselves out. When they get the guys back, we're going to be just fine. I'm not overly concerned, and you shouldn't be either.
So, you act like it was a revelation to the world last night. Lou Williams can really play. It was a revelation to the NBA universe. Montrez can come off the bench and really have impact. Was that a revelation? That's been going on for a long time, and it definitely went on all last year.
Not 60 points, Skip.
Huh?
60 points.
Oh, stop it. They did it all last year. They were really good last year. And they put a little scare into Golden State in the first round until the best player on the planet, who's not playing right now, Kevin Durant, said, nope, no. In their house, he said, no, you can't do that to me. You could maybe do that to Steph and Clay and Draymond, but you can't do it to me. Okay, that's how good they are. That's why I picked the Clippers to win it all this year over the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals. And all that for me was validated last night because my biggest takeaway was there's a new king in LA, and he's wearing New Balance. And I got to tell you, number two, I hate to admit, made a huge, resounding sea to shining sea statement last night during the game on TNT, and then when his New Balance commercial dropped in a commercial break. The statement he made was, I ain't afraid of no king because I got this. This is now my house. And I get he got booed by those Laker fans, but he's going to shut them up. As the year wears on, they're going to get quieter and quieter because that commercial, and we're going to talk more about it in just a few minutes, but it was brazen. It was right in LeBron's face because he was not afraid to take subtle and not so subtle shots at LeBron in the commercial with the little crown swinging on the keychain. Did you see that?
I saw it.
And what was LA called? Kawhi Town. Wow, Kawhi Town. And then it ends with, this is his city. All caps.
Really?
Really. Well, then what I loved about number two last night was during the game, he flat out backed it up. He was, as you did note, you acknowledged, he was the best player on the floor on offense and defense. He won a championship last year in Toronto, and I thought he was lucky to win it, but he did win it. He was the MVP of the NBA Finals. And last night, I saw a new number two because I know him. I know him from jump because I'm a Spurs fan, and I know him from when he was a rookie. And he used to be my favorite player in his San Antonio days. And I always wanted him to be a little more confident because he played with slumped shoulders and he played with his eyes down in San Antonio, and he was always the fourth wheel to Duncan Parker and Ginobili, and he seemed so painfully shy and so painfully insecure when you could see all the talent, and you'd say, live it, just enjoy it, embrace it, be it.
Sure.
You are that guy, but you don't think you're that guy.
Yeah.
Now he thinks he's that guy. And it took that championship he won, quote unquote, by himself. He had some help in Toronto. He had a lot of help.
I know.
I saw Kyle Lowry. I saw Van Fleet go crazy. I saw them all, too. He had a lot of help. He had Gasol. We could go on and on. But that was a very good team, and he made it the championship team.
Correct.
I give you that. but I saw a guy with his chest out last night. I saw a guy who was in command and in control. I saw a guy whose team fell behind 13-2, and then he said, no, not in my new house. And he made how many in a row? 7 straight shots.
Right.
Did that not tilt the game back in the Clippers' favor?
Yeah.
And I give you the bench, but I knew they got the bench. Whew. That's a good basketball team, they can really defend, and they're really going to make it hard on the Lakers the next 3 times they play the Lakers. And I got to tell you, I was blown away by a statement that Kenny Smith made after the game on TNT on Inside the NBA. It resounded deep into my psyche if we could hear and see what Kenny Smith said after the game.
The only guy in the world who could actually do it did it tonight. Kawhi Leonard made LeBron James not look athletic. There's not many guys that can contain him in key moments the way he did. We saw it last year, but there was no LeBron in the playoffs.
Right.
So I was like, oh, well, you're doing it, but you're not doing it against the guy who is the best at it.
Right.
Tonight, he did it against the guy who's the best at it.
He just said that number 2 made LeBron James, your guy, look not athletic. That's a mouthful from Kenny Smith. And I love Kenny and I respect Kenny, and he's been there and done all that. Your thoughts on that?
When LeBron hit that 17-foot turnaround jump in his face, how athletic did he look?
That was early.
When he chased down Landry Shamet and threw his shot out.
Are we really going to give him credit for that? Little Landry Shamet tries to shoot a right-handed layup off the glass, you're going, can we see that? By the way, we got to see it.
Hold on, but you say he don't play no defense.
Okay. Oh, I thought he really tried on defense last night. Okay. But again, it's talking about looking, okay, that's the easiest chase down in the history of chase downs. A little guard is going to shoot a right-handed layup off the glass?
And he got 2 charges.
Okay.
But here's the thing, Skip. I'm trying to figure out, it wasn't like LeBron was guarding Kawhi. I mean, maybe twice he guarded him when they caught him in a pick and roll and LeBron switched out on him. But for the most part, LeBron didn't guard him. LeBron was not trying to take Kawhi off the dribble last night. He was trying to feed Anthony Davis in the post. They made a concerted effort to get Anthony Davis the ball. And he said that we're going to play through AD this year.
Okay.
Why have him if we're not?
By the way, speaking of chase downs, could we see the Kawhi block of Dwight Howard? Could we see that, please?
Foul.
Huh? I don't think it's a foul. I think this is... Whoa. You don't think that resonated with his teammates?
Hold on, Skip.
He did that to him? Whew. That's Dwight Howard. And he gets him from behind, and it resonated. And I got to read before I go on with my spiel here. This is a quote I read from Doc Rivers after the game about number 2. He said, he was intense. If we could see it, please. I think we have a full screen of it. He was intense. You could feel that. I think Ty Lue, who's now obviously Doc's assistant, said, look at him on the jump ball circle where everybody was moving around doing all their gestures. And Kawhi was just standing there. You could just see he was like, throw the ball up. Let's get this on. Ty was right because that was number 2's body language. And I got to admit publicly, I was so impressed with him last night that I had the urge today to call him by his name on the show. I really thought about it because he used to be my favorite player, and he was acting like a guy who could become my favorite player again last night. Then I slept on it, and I said maybe I should wait and think about it for a little while.
Skip, what I don't get is that Kawhi's always been really an emotionless player. Kawhi really never shows any emotion. Remember last year when they tried to high-five him on the court and Kawhi wouldn't high-five any of his teammates, and they really had to come to him. I think it was Van Fleet actually grabbed his hand and shook his hand. You remember?
Yeah.
So, what happened last night? I mean, Kawhi played unbelievable.
He just looked different to my eye. And again, I know him from his rookie year, and it's been a slow growth.
Yes.
But once he grew up in Toronto, and he took his talents to L.A.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, like when you're a young player and you come in and there are guys that have won championships before you got there, for the most part, there are some guys. Now, Kobe would have been different. Kobe's like, hey, I don't care what you guys won. I'm better than all of you guys. That's how Michael was. I remember James Worthy was telling the story about he and Michael, Michael playing him one-on-one. Michael thought he was better than James Worthy, who was player of the year. But that's not how Kawhi is wired, Skip. Kawhi's like, look, you guys are the elder statesmen. I'm going to show you guys respect. But once he got going, Skip, it took Tim Duncan moving out of the way. And once Kawhi won Defensive Player of the Year, and all of a sudden he started becoming an All-NBA player, he's like, yeah, I'm really that dude. And then going to Toronto and winning a title with really no other superstar players around him, he's like, yeah, I'm that dude. That's why he felt, Skip, that's really one of the main reasons I felt he could go it alone.
Yep.
He's like, I did it.
Yeah, I did
I
it.
can do it again.
And I'm going to L.A., and I'm not going to join those two.
Yeah.
I'm going to join him over here on the stepchild, the Clippers, because he grew up in the L.A. area, and he said, I'll go to the number 2 team in L.A., and I'm going to make them number 1. Now I'm going back to your guys, and I'm not going to give them a pass, because the other shock to me from last night was just how quiet LeBron and AD got in the second half.
Yeah, they were bags.
Whew. How about especially in the fourth quarter when they just became non-factors? And I look at these numbers. LeBron, fourth quarter, 1 of 4, 0 of 1 from 3, no free throws, not a free throw attempt in the fourth.
He only attempted 4 the whole game.
Okay, he did make 3. I give him that. So you're what do we say, 75%?
Yep.
He's right there, right?
So far, so good.
Today, you would win the bet. We have 81 games to go.
Couple more.
Okay, so LeBron manages 2 points, and his new running mate, the guy they're running the offense through, Anthony Davis, scored 0 in the fourth quarter. Anthony Davis took a grand total of 2 shots in the fourth quarter and missed both. He had a grand total of 1 rebound, and he had 0 points. This is the man you said will be the MVP of this league, right?
Yeah.
This is the man I told you, wait a second, the spotlight at Staples might be a little too bright for Anthony Davis. Did I not tell you that?
Skip.
That was my big preseason theme. That was a fourth quarter spotlight on TNT in what felt like an opening night playoff game. It felt like
the atmosphere was unbelievable, Skip. But do you believe that Anthony Davis and LeBron James, how many more times do you believe they'll combine to go 15 or 14 from the field?
I trust LeBron more in that situation than AD because he's never been in that. That was different. That's like, I just woke up. I'm in Hollywood, and everybody expects me to be the star of this show.
Well, the game, the Lakers did a great job. Danny Green caught fire in the third quarter, Skip, and he brought them all the way back, and they were tied, I think, either 85-85 or 88-88 going to the fourth quarter. And they were right there. But the turnovers, they had 6 turnovers. LeBron had 3 of them.
In the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter alone, yes. And LeBron knows you can never relax if Pat Beverly's around. He's in the front position on the free throw line. He relaxes. Pat Beverly gets the free throw.
Even though Pat Bev is about half his height, right?
Yes.
But he's up in him, just bulldogging him.
Pat Beverly has never forgot what it took him to get to this league.
Okay.
So he's not gonna ever, Skip, not play hard. And, you know, he and Russ go back and forth because Russ was getting ready to call a 20-second timeout, and he tried to steal the ball. He ended up clipping Russ, and Russ missed the rest of the season.
Okay.
I think that was a playoff game. It was a playoff game.
Yeah.
And he clipped him, and Russ had to have knee surgery. So Pat Bev is never going to relax. You can never relax around him. They didn't play well in the fourth quarter, Skip. They only scored 17 points. That's not good enough to win against that team. That's a that's a very good defensive team.
So here's the other negative shock to me for LeBron. I always say he's the best passer in basketball. I was happy that he's going to be the point guard of this team. And yet, I was stunned at how slowly he played, and it got slower and slower through the game where he was walk dribbling the ball up the court.
Right.
And there was too many possessions where he would slowly dribble over, and it's like, well, you drift out here to 15, 18 feet, not on the edge of the lane. You just drift out here, and I'll kind of lob it over here. It reminded me of Westbrook and Durant in Oklahoma City. Okay, it's your turn. I'll lob it over here. Now you just go 1-on-2 and figure it out. You go score.
Well, Skip, the thing is, if you're going to run the offense, Anthony Davis, yes, he can shoot the 3, he can post, you can do all those things, but if you're running the offense through it, it's not going to be free-flowing. You're not going to see Golden State's offense.
It got really slow.
Yes.
It got clunky to me. It got hard to watch.
Yes.
Because I didn't see LeBron in attack mode enough.
Right.
It was just slow motion everywhere. And if we could see the 4 key plays that I saw, and 3 of them are LeBron turnovers, this is what I didn't want to see from LeBron in this game. If we see this, here's the first turnover. He tries to get it to Dwight. Then look at this. LeBron gets a wide open layup and shot it completely over the rim. What are you doing? Then we got another turnover where he dribbles it off his own foot. And this is when it's a close game. And then this is the last turnover with 2 minutes left, and they could have cut it to 6 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
But the two turnovers, the one turnover and then the missed whatever that layup thing was, it's a 4-point game at that point.
Right.
So I'm thinking, LeBron's going to take this game over, or maybe AD's going to have his coming out party. Neither fired. Neither came to life at that point.
Yeah, the fourth quarter is really where you think you're going to see these guys rise and shine. And it didn't happen last night. LeBron had 3 turnovers of the 6 in the fourth quarter, and as you mentioned, 2 points, and he missed a wide open layup. And I was like, Skip, you can tell when a guy of that caliber misses a point blank shot like that, you know it's just not his night.
I don't know, because he missed it all the way across and over the rim where it didn't draw iron, I don't think.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You know, it's just like, you know what, hey.
Okay.
Not my night.
All right. So what if there hadn't been a Danny Green last night for your team? What a night he had. Are you believing this?
Night.
What if he didn't hit 10 out of 14 shots, 7 of 9 threes for 28 points? Where would you have been?
Hold up, Skip. So we're going to pretend like Mo Harkless is going to go 4 for 7 every night? And
Yes. I told you yesterday when we were doing our predictions, I really like that pickup.
Excuse me. No, JaMychal Green.
JaMychal Green.
JaMychal
I
Green
like
will
him.
go 4 for 7.
I like
Mo
him.
Harkless 2 or 3.
Okay, they will. Yeah, they're capable.
Danny Green is capable. Remember, Skip,
I know.
before Steph Curry came along, Danny Green had the most threes in the NBA Finals series.
Okay.
So he's more than capable.
So think about the irony of last night. Danny Green is number 2's best buddy.
Yeah.
He's almost like his security blanket. He's like his valet, if you will. Like he had to be thrown in. Toronto insisted he was thrown in the trade of number 2 to Toronto because he couldn't exist way up in the frozen north without his security blanket.
He got to have somebody he can talk to.
That's what I mean. Well, and he can, and they are very close. So they go win the championship together. Then they both go to L.A., except one guy shocks the world and chooses Clippers, which opens the door and the salary cap for the other guy to get a big deal to play for the Lakers. And then on opening night, he's your only real bright spot, right? He's your shining light, is the guy who is the security blanket for number 2. And when the game ended, who talked? Who went and hugged each other? It was number 2 and Danny Green. Number 2 didn't go to LeBron or to
LeBron
AD.
goes. They go.
They're out.
They know each other. It's the same situation like when D. Wade and LeBron played. When LeBron went back to Cleveland, they played each other, you know, and obviously they didn't go sit on the scorer's table.
I think you should make it past tense. LeBron, they knew each other, like past tense.
They still know each other.
I don't think there's any love lost.
Yeah, they're fine, Skip.
Okay.
Look, Skip, why are you making more of this than what it is?
I'm just telling you what I saw last night was stunning.
Skip, the Lakers lost. It's one game. I remember Magic Johnson's rookie year. You remember, Skip? And Kareem hit the sky hook. They won the game. And Magic goes and jumps on Kareem and hugging him right in the neck and hugging him. And Kareem said, hold on, Rook. We got 81 more of these. Calm down, Skip. We got 81 more of these things.
You've been predicting for weeks on this show that the Lakers were just going to do a number and put them back in their place on opening night.
I predicted 56 wins.
Okay.
We got 56 to get it. We got 81 games to win 56 games.
Boy, that's 81. You got to win 56 out of 81. That's going to be quite a run, man.
So?
And you have to play these guys 3 more times.
Okay.
They're
you
back
got this?
I'm predicting next 20 games, we probably won't lose but like 2, 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
Want
Friday
Dew on
night
that?
against Utah.
I'll take Dew on.
Who we got Friday?
Utah.
You want
At
some of
home.
that? You want Utah?
No.
But you like
Is
Utah.
that, I didn't say. I picked the Rockets to get to the final.
You like Utah to have a better record. Oh, they're going to be the Stifle Tower. Oh, and they got Mike Conley.
Well, is this at Staples? Yes.
Home game.
Okay.
What do they gotta do?
Okay, well, I'll take, what did you say they're going to win?
56.
No, of the next 20, they'll win 18?
I said they win 17, 18. Yes, 17.
18, I think you said 18.
17.
Okay, I'll take.
Where are we sticking with?
I'll take a case of Dew for less than 18-2.
No.
No?
Give me 17-3. Hold up.
Give
Not
them
count
that
this game,
one
because
extra.
we already
This
lost
one
this
doesn't count.
game.
This one doesn't count.
So we already lost this one, so this one don't count.
Okay.
So we won't lose of the next 20 games. We won't lose
Okay.
3.
I like this. I like
Yeah,
this.
except I need to, I'll do it the next topic because I got to go look at the schedule.
Okay, fine.
I got to see what the away games
We will allow
are.
you to look at the schedule.
Because I
That
got to
is a
see how
very fair thing.
many L's are on the road.
Well, I got to look at the schedule too. This
Okay,
thank
all right.
you, give me an
I
opportunity.
like these
to look at
mini
deal.
bets within the
Okay.
big bet. This is going to be a fun season.
No mercy.
Well, guys, last week on The Herd with Colin Cowherd, Urban Meyer said that the Cowboys' job was one that, as a coach, you couldn't say no to. It should come as no surprise that Jerry Jones was a fan of Urban's comments. Take a listen.
For Urban Meyer to say that is a compliment, period. And I really know that. The job is a great job. Now, that's not implying that I made it that way or I don't make it that way. If you like to go to center stage, if you like to have to answer or have an opportunity to be at the very top, then our organization gives you that opportunity. It doesn't surprise me that Urban would have that kind of opinion of the head coaching job of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, Shannon, do you agree with Jerry that this is a great job?
Hell no. And when was the last time the Cowboys been at the top? I missed something.
Uh-oh.
Now, I've been on this earth 51 years.
Yeah.
In the last 21, I've been in my right mind and I hadn't slept, hibernated. I'm not Rip Van Winkle. So what the hell are you talking about? What top?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
When have they not been at the top of the ratings?
Oh, see, oh, so that's what you're about.
Ratings.
So they got 25 Emmys, but they damn sure ain't got no Lombardis. I'm talking about Lombardis in the last 25 years.
Did you see what the Sunday night game rated? It was the best in 5 years on NBC Sunday night.
Okay. Do they hang banners for that? I just need to know what they hang banners for.
That's what he's talking about.
Not.
Center stage, he said. This is center stage.
This is why it's not a great job, because most coaches don't get into coaching to be on TV. They get into coaching because they love the profession and they want to build a team. They want to coach players, and some have influence on men's lives and can help shape their lives even after they become professionals. Jerry Jones got into ownership because he wanted to be known. Because there are probably...
He actually wanted to coach, but go ahead.
Skip.
Seriously, he wanted to coach.
Jerry Jones is not the wealthiest owner in the NFL.
No.
But when you think of owners in the NFL, who do you think about first, Skip? Jerry Jones is not the wealthiest man in the world.
He bought this team on a shoestring, trust me.
Yeah.
He had to rob Peter to pay Paul and
exactly.
leverage and mortgage, and he got a great deal from Bum Bright because Bum Bright wanted to sell to Jerry Jones.
That's cool.
Because he knew he was going to eliminate Tom Landry.
Right. Skip,
realize all that.
if the Maras own the Cowboys, if Mr. Kraft owned the Cowboys, you talk about, see, the Maras understand. They've been, or the Rooneys, the Maras, John Mara, his dad, Wellington, they've been the Giants 80, 90 years.
Yep.
They understand that you hire the best people, you let them do their job.
They do.
You stay in the background.
Correct.
Mr. Kraft, oh my goodness. A man that could be center stage. All they do is win every year. Don't care nothing about no ratings. They ain't probably getting no ratings. I don't know what Monday night did. Probably ain't do nothing. But I tell you what they do, they hang banners every other year. That's what they do. Skip, this would be a wonderful job if Jerry allowed coaches to do their job. But he doesn't. Skip, and he said something that, he loved, Jason Garrett, he had another comment, Skip, that Jason Garrett is not a yes man.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he is, because that's what you have to have. See, another reason why it's not a great job, Skip, what owner would be as openly and blatantly as disrespectful as Jerry is to Jason Garrett? What? Skip, do you actually think Coach Belichick was still on the job if Mr. Kraft said, I'm looking for a reason to keep him? Do you think Sean Payton was still on the job if Gail Benson said, I'm looking for a reason to keep him? What in the hell is that about? And that's a great job. Skip, I love my job, but my bosses don't tell me what to say. Oh, I'm just looking for a reason to keep Shannon on Undisputed with Skip. What the hell? What the hell? Skip, come on, man.
That would not...
Look, Skip, I get it, Jerry. You're the most profitable sporting franchise in all the world. The most, everybody knows you. Everybody knows the brand, the star. But just because your brand recognition is an all-time high doesn't mean that it's great, because you make it. The only thing that Jason Garrett does is Sundays. And the only reason he does that is because there's no communication Because if Jerry could buzz down there like Buffalo Wild Wings, Jerry would buzz down there and tell him to call this play or call timeout here.
I agree.
He would, but he can't. So, no, this is not a great job because Jerry makes it not a great job. If he would stay his butt out the way, it would be an all-time great job. Let the Rooneys, the Maras have this organization. Ain't no telling how many championships this thing would have.
To your point, I remind everyone that about a year after Jerry bought the team in 1989, he told Vanity Fair, I could coach the you-know-what out of this team. I could coach the you-know-what out of this team.
Right.
Whew. That's what he still believes to this day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you that. That's what's wrong with this job. That's why the degree of difficulty is extremely high for the coach to have to navigate the owner GM to get to coach the team.
Right.
I will give you all that. But if I just step back from the job and look at it in the big picture of all the other jobs, if this job came open, it would simply be the best job in all of pro football. And I get you because you're handicapped by Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
But if you step back like Urban Meyer did the other day when he was on Colin Cowherd's show, and he's just sort of looking from afar off the top of his head at the job, and he's saying, oh, I'm quoting Urban here, that's the one job. That's the New York Yankees. That's the Dallas Cowboys, right? So, you're looking, that's maybe blasts from the past, but they are still considered Yankee-esque, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And right away, Urban said they got Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and then he goes on to say a loaded team. Well, it's loaded, man, and it's young. And if Jerry can figure out the other contracts, Dak and Amari, which I think he will, and then on down the line to Byron Jones and others, it's going to stay loaded for a good while. They could have a potentially dynastic run if they ever break through and win one Super Bowl. I think it could lead on. And you could have what happened in the 90s, Jerry, Jimmy Johnson, and then Barry Switzer with the last one. You have that potential. So Urban's just looking at it like, to me, that's the one job, he said. And Colin asked him, would you be interested? Would you listen if they called you? And he said, absolutely, because that's the one. That's what he's saying, where he's looking at the quarterback. He likes the quarterback, obviously, because he mentioned him first. And he knows exactly what Ezekiel Elliott can do because he carried him to a national championship. Correct. Okay, so he's saying, who wouldn't be interested? And he didn't go into this, obviously, but you and I know, albeit Jerry Jones. But anybody in his right mind would say, yeah, I got to take a shot at that. And that's what Jerry was saying. It has nothing to do with anything I built or anything I did. Yep. It's just here. This is what it is.
Sean Payton had 1 year on his deal. Sean Payton could have got word to Jerry, come get your boy. If he wanted that job, it's so desirable.
Well, for the longest time, Sean Payton had a house in Dallas because he had coached in Dallas and he kept the house. But go ahead.
But coaches like Sean Payton, coaches like Bill Belichick, no. You're not addressing the team. You're not telling me when we're going to practice. You're not going to tell me what we should do on fourth down. That's not going to happen. That's what makes this Skip, look, like I said, of course, any job in the NFL, because there's only 32. Of all the coaches, there's only 32 professional NFL teams. There's only one head coach per team. So it's one of 32. Of 7 billion people, you're one of 32 that has that job. But he makes that job less desirable because of him.
Okay.
Look, obviously, all jobs are not created equal, but it's one of 32. Obviously, having a job at the Cowboys or the Steelers is different than having a job in Cincinnati and Cleveland.
I got it.
We get that.
Okay.
But when is Jerry going to get out the way? Skip, let me ask you a question.
He's never going to get out the way.
Okay,
Ever.
Skip.
No.
Okay, I tell you what. Take this same football team as it's constructed in Dallas, and give it to Bill Belichick in New England. What do you think happens?
It's hard to say because he's built such a different culture where nobody's a star except the quarterback who doesn't act like a star in New England, right? The Cowboys are star-studded. Like they got potential superstars all across the ball.
The thing is, what has happened is Jerry is convinced them, and he's convinced the world that our brand, we don't win But you just said, look at the ratings, the highest ratings in 5 years. And what did they win because of that? They won a regular season game. You don't win a Lombardi for that. You don't win an NFC championship for that. But you generate ratings.
And you know what happens every year? You'll go back and look at the ratings for the year, and Dallas will have like
5 of the top 10,
whatever.
Yeah.
They'll have the top 3.
Yeah, but
they just will.
Yeah.
But when you look at TV ratings, NFL is going to have 42 of the top 50, 42, 44 of the top 50. So NFL rules television.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. Skip, that's why they pay big bucks to get that package. If you want live entertainment, what do you want? You want the NFL. All this other stuff is good. It's great, but you want that.
Yeah,
you want that. You want that shield.
In my earlier days in the business, because I was doing a show on ESPN in New York on Sundays, and I would go hang around at CBS when Terry Bradshaw was there.
Yes.
And I got to know everybody there. And all the producers had one motto: when in doubt, talk about the Dallas Cowboys. That was their pregame show motto. When in doubt, if it's 50-50, just do the Cowboys.
Yeah, think about all the networks have had the NFL. Nah, we don't need the NFL. It's costing too much. And when they gave it up, what ultimately happened? They came and got it back.
Yeah.
NBC had it. Nah, we don't want it no more. They came and got it back. CBS had it. Skip, as a matter of fact, that's how Fox became. Fox became what we know it as when they got the NFC package from CBS.
That is correct. And that's why he's got that look on his face, Jerry Jones. Like, I got this.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to show the look. There it is.
There it is.
That is the
That's
look.
the look.
So we understand what the NFL does. But, Skip, this job would be so much better if Jerry didn't undercut his coach
at
every turn.
And then what was Jerry's other line? And you were talking about Jason's not a yes man. Yes, he is a yes man.
Yes.
And then Jerry asked the question, is Jason respectful of the order of things? Yes, he is. Yes.
But see,
that's the definition to me of a yes man.
Thank you. But here's the thing, Skip. The thing that makes a really good boss is not only does he command respect, but he's also willing to give it.
Yep.
You think Jerry Jones is respectful of Jason Garrett? The mere fact that he second guesses him publicly lets you know he's not respectful. The mere fact that this man said publicly, Skip, I'm looking for a reason to keep him.
Okay, and if Jerry Jones were sitting right here, what he would tell you on a lie detector, I don't know if he'd say it on TV, but he would say, I tried to get out of the way one time for Bill Parcells. I tried this. He's a Hall of Fame coach.
Right.
He was decorated. He's got all kinds of championships on his belt, right? And I tried it, and it flamed out. It failed miserably, right?
Yeah.
So he would say, I did it once, and it didn't work, so why wouldn't I go back to the way I do it?
But because here's the thing. Coach Parcells says, I don't want T.O.
He
you said I got control. I don't want
to the point he wouldn't even call his name.
Yeah.
He called him the player.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't even call his number.
Yeah. He say, okay, you say I got control of the 53. I don't want him. Jerry says I do.
And the bridge was on fire there, and then it just burned to the ground. That was it. I totally agree. But I still say, if you posted this job, on the internet,
LinkedIn.
Let's do that. Let's just see the traction.
How many people would apply?
Right.
If it opened tomorrow,
I'd throw my name in that.
Right.
Why not?
Come on.
Skip, look, the man says, you hired a man, you say he has control, and if he says he doesn't want a player, you go get it. Okay, I have a shellfish allergy. Okay, my people know that. I got a girlfriend, and I come home and she frying up shrimp or scallop.
This is a hypothetical.
No,
right?
I know I have a real shellfish allergy.
Oh, good. Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't know that.
But then the second part of the story was hypothetical.
No, hypothetically, I come home and she cooking up some shrimp, cooking up some scallops.
Okay.
What are you gonna
do?
Somebody's out.
That's it? What if she didn't know?
But see, we already talked about that. Because I can't run the risk. So we already, we put it. Here's all my cards right here. I'm allergic to this. What you got any allergies? Nut allergies, anything like that? Okay.
Are you announcing you do have someone?
No. Oh, Lord.
Okay. Well, that's what.
No, she's been sent home.
Oh, she's already been sent home. That's the hypothetical.
I'm saying, Coach Parcells says I do not want T.O. Jerry says I do, and so you bring him in.
Okay.
So
what's going to happen?
So you already.
No, I got it.
Jerry.
I still say, and remember, this conversation started because the speculation has been out there that Lincoln Riley would be the apple of Jerry's eye next year if it didn't work out with Jason Garrett. And the idea with Urban was, well, do you think you know Lincoln a little bit, enough to know would he be interested? And that's how that conversation took off. Would Lincoln Riley be it? Sure he would.
Yeah.
Is Oklahoma a great job and a great place? Did Bob Stoops stay there forever, for too long? Yes, he did. But again, Dallas, Texas.
But Lincoln Riley making $6.3 million.
Yeah,
what Jerry gonna pay?
Probably 5.
Oh, hell no. You ain't taking no pay cut to come. Hold on, Skip. If I'm in college.
You have to take an America's team discount.
Lincoln's in a good position. He's happy there. He always talks about how much he enjoys it. I think he doesn't move yet, truthfully. Okay. I don't get the sense that he's.
You got to give me at least my salary, Skip.
I don't know. Lincoln would look at this roster and say, whew, got Dak and Zeke in the offensive line and DeMarcus Lawrence and I don't know.
I mean, he ain't got the president tell him what plays to call and all that other stuff. The AD all breathing down his neck. Lincoln Riley gets to run this ship how he wants.
Does. I agree.
If he wins it, maybe I would change my mind. But until that happens, I don't know if I see that, him making a move. Love Lincoln Riley, though.
No mercy.
Lonzo Ball and the Pelicans began their season in Toronto, taking on the reigning champs. Through 3 quarters, the Pelicans trailed by 2 points, and Lonzo had played the 3rd most minutes on the team. But head coach Alvin Gentry benched Lonzo for the entire 4th quarter, along with starter Derek Favors. Ultimately, the Pelicans would lose by 8 in overtime, as Lonzo played 3.5 of the 5 minutes in OT. And Skip, I want to know, what do you make of Alvin Gentry benching Lonzo in the 4th?
Look, I was pleasantly surprised by how well Lonzo started the game right out of the box last night, because he came out with conviction and supreme confidence and actually played very well against the defending champs in Toronto on TNT. Okay. But then I was unpleasantly shocked by what Alvin Gentry did to Lonzo Ball with 6:29 left in the 3rd quarter, as Jenny points out.
Yeah.
He benched him.
Yep.
Not just for the rest of the 3rd quarter, for the rest of the game regulation. All of the rest of the 3rd quarter and all of the 4th quarter, Lonzo had to sit. Lonzo did not look happy to me on the bench, because he should not have looked happy, because Alvin Gentry, and I'm a fan of Alvin's. I've known him forever. But Alvin Gentry did to Lonzo what Luke Walton often did. Lonzo got Luke Walton again last night. What would Luke do through the first couple of years in L.A.? He would play him for a stretch, and then he would bench him bizarrely for a long stretch.
Yep.
And that set off LeVar Ball, who quickly called for Luke's job, that he wanted him fired, and claimed that Luke had, he sat right here and said it, Luke had lost the team starting with these bizarre benchings of Lonzo Ball. So what really disturbed me about this was that Lonzo did play so well that he didn't deserve to be benched. Can we see the first 3 that he took and made? This is early in the game. He just comes straight down the floor and he pulls up deep 3. Watch this. And rips it. And that looked like a new guy. And then he pulls off this inside-out pass that is rare and gifted. And it was something. There's the shot. Woo! Here's the pass. Inside out. Whew. There are just not many. LeBron could probably pull that off, but there aren't many who in the history of this league could pull off that little inside-out wristy, bend pass. And so he's playing well. He gets benched, and I realized that Alvin was trying to ride a hot, weird lineup that he found, featuring Frank Jackson and Josh Hart in the backcourt with Drew Holiday. But then double weird was we go all the way through regulation. They're tied. And he sends the starting 5 back onto the floor, and Lonzo's like doing jumping jacks on the court to try to warm up. When he got the tip in overtime, he's hopping up the court like trying to get his legs back in motion because he needed to stretch again.
Right.
You needed another pregame warm-up, right?
Or go get on the bike or something.
Go something, because that's just flat out unfair.
Yeah.
What is Alvin thinking? And I didn't see any quotes from him. Maybe we'll have some today. I'm not sure he was even asked about it after the game. But all I know is this was an opening night bad sign for Lonzo Ball in New Orleans, and I don't get it.
Skip, I can't disagree with you. Because when I'm watching, I was like, okay, he went to the bench. He's going to take his rest.
Sure.
He's going to come back in the 3rd quarter. That's what the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, normal, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything about it.
Right.
Lonzo's going to come back at the start of the fourth quarter. He's going to finish this game out.
All right.
Okay, he doesn't come out and say, well, maybe he's getting them extended rest. And here we are at 6 minutes, and he's still not back in the ball game. So now I'm starting to think, is he hurt? I mean, I didn't know.
I did too. I thought, is he ill?
So,
and maybe we'll find out today he was under the weather, but I don't know that.
So at this point, Skip, at 6 minutes, I cut the volume on. So I want to hear if he's hurt or not, because I'm not listening to the volume. I said, well, maybe they're saying it. So still, nothing. Skip, this is not a good sign, because it tells me is that they're viewing Lonzo as someone they don't have to have on the floor late in the ball game.
Yeah, because if you're the leader and the new point guard, you have to put him back in the game midway fourth quarter, right?
Yes, and Skip, remember, he was one of the linchpin pieces that they wanted
what we read
for Anthony Davis.
Okay.
So for me, I'm like, and you mentioned it, we saw this from Luke Walton. And you're right, LeVar was up in arms. The guy plays great, and you bench him for he was basically benched for 30 minutes of real time.
Yeah.
And I don't know just sitting down, I don't.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I know the Laker game started, so a lot of people lost touch with what was really happening.
Right.
But this happened.
Skip, and I get it, he came out and hit those 2 shots, and he can be a liability shooting the ball in the fourth quarter.
But he even made his 2 free throws he took, and that was a real liability last year.
Right. But this is not, I agree with you, Skip. This is not a good sign. The very first game, I can see over the stretch of, say, 10, 15, 20 games, Skip, he's not giving you the production that you thought he would give you late in the ball game. He's missing shots. He's not aggressive, not going to, because he doesn't want to get fouled or shoot free throws. Okay, then he becomes unplayable. But the first game, this is his first game.
Really?
And you take this.
And was it a high turnover game by Lonzo? No, he had one.
But he had 5 assists. So
he was playing pretty well. I don't get it.
I don't get this move either.
And I respect Frank Jackson. He's a nice player, but he's just a backup.
Right.
And you could ride the hot hand for a little while in the fourth quarter, but the whole way?
Yeah, I was surprised they rode Josh Hart. I mean, he played unbelievably.
And he did.
15 points, 10.
He did.
But Skip, that's him. Josh Hart's going to play. He's going to play
Love
hard.
him.
He's going to play defense.
Got
He's going to hit
guts,
big shots. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised. I'm surprised that the first game of the season, they did this to Lonzo. And I don't think he deserved, I'm not, I think you think he was transcendent. I think he was a good player, but I don't think he deserved this. Not the first game of the season. Like I said, you're 20 games, 30 games into the season.
Yeah.
He's not hitting shots in the fourth quarter, Skip. He's not aggressive because he doesn't want to get fouled.
Okay, got it.
I get that.
Got it.
But not the first game.
Not the first game, and not off playing pretty well. In fact, I'm going to go to very well.
Yes.
And what I hate the most about this, my biggest takeaway is, obviously, as a Laker, Lonzo was often hurt, too often hurt.
Yes.
Was it wearing big baller brand shoes that were exploding and he'd have to put on a new pair each quarter, he said? Maybe. But what else got hurt? What got damaged the most? His pride, his confidence. They got wrecked by Luke Walton and just the whole circumstance. And Magic said one day that number 2 is going to hang up in the rafters, right?
Yeah.
And it hurt this kid's confidence. His father painted the biggest target on his back any kid's ever had painted on his back. And I'm thinking, new start, change of scenery, New Orleans. I was hoping to see Zion and Lonzo on the break, but we didn't get to see that yet. And what happens? Right out of the box, his confidence gets dented again. I'm not sure it got wrecked, but it can't help his confidence.
No, this is not a good sign.
Okay, so now he comes out the next game, and I'm sure he'll start the next game, and you don't think he's going to be looking over his shoulder at his coach? And it starts making it harder when you go up that supremely confident new stroke that's more on the right side of your face. Well, the next game, he'll go up for the first shot thinking, what if I miss this?
Right.
So
and that's what's in the back of his mind because he's been 2 locations, Skip, and we see a reoccurring theme. Now, the coach has changed. Supposedly, his situation has changed.
Well, I'm going to have to read into it that through the preseason, there's some clash going on with him and Alvin. Like Alvin's saying, I got to teach the kid more of a new lesson here. Like maybe he thinks he's got too much spoiled brat in him.
More to it. Yeah.
Well, this is not a good look. This is not I'm sure this is not the foot Lonzo wanted to get off on.
I'd say no.
I mean, you're the starting point guard, and you don't play for basically 18, 19 minutes from midway through the third all the way through you don't get into the game until OT?
Yep. I'm hoping we hear today he had a stomach bug, but I don't think we'll hear that because he did put him right back out there for the overtime, which I thought was double unfair.
Yeah. Now go get it done.
Now do it.
Yeah,
and by the way, he and the whole team just did nothing in overtime.
Overtime was...
But Skip, they still... I mean, ride the hot hand, ride the horse that you've been riding for the last 15 years.
If you're going to do that, just let them play.
At that point. So next up for the Pelicans, they are home. It's their home opener Friday against the Mavs. So we'll be watching that one closely to see what plays out. No mercy. Kawhi Leonard took the first game in the battle for Los Angeles as the Clippers beat the Lakers 112-102. Kawhi dropped a game-high 30 points on 10 for 19 shooting. LeBron had 18 points, and Anthony Davis had a 25-point, 10-rebound performance. But it was Danny Green who had the Lakers team high with 28 points. Yahoo Sports senior NBA insider Chris Haynes is back with us this morning.
I even hear that he had a word with Uncle Dennis after the game, right?
Interesting. We're going to have to get to that.
Right.
But, what was your biggest takeaway from last night?
It was unreal. I've quite never experienced anything like that because it reminded me of a high school football game, like that type of atmosphere, of fans packed into a 20,000-seat venue. You had cheers, boos from, it seemed like the fan base was competing with the Laker fan base, Clipper fan base all night. And it was just really hard to gauge. There really wasn't a home court advantage out there. It was really a neutral site. But I will say this. I think the Lakers have recognized, and I think the Laker fan base have recognized, that the Clippers are for real. It was officially made legitimate that the Clippers are here for their quest to take over their chunk of the city.
Wow.
And the performance that they put together with Kawhi Leonard doing his thing and the way those guys rally around them. And now they have somebody down the stretch where they can go to, where they can throw that ball to, make a play, get a basket, something they didn't have before. Now they got poise, they got confidence. They don't even have Paul George yet. And that's the scary part. And I think if you look at the Lakers, now I don't want to just go get crazy. It was one game, but I think they need another playmaker. Down the stretch down there. Jamal Crawford, somebody who I think would be a good fit, somebody who can play, make, create for others. But aside from that,
he tweeted that last night.
He tweeted that. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. No, but look, I think this rivalry right here, this is not the Chris Paul, Blake Griffin Clippers. Like, this team is legit and they're real. And I think everybody realizes that.
Oh, you can tell. You can tell. I mean, Doc has them playing unbelievable. Doc gives them confidence. Doc is a championship caliber coach. Well, he's won a championship. And then you got Kawhi, who's playing with supreme confidence. What he did in Toronto gave him the confidence that I can go this thing alone. I don't need to team up with AD and LeBron. I don't need to go with Kawhi and KD. I don't need to team up with James Harden, whomever. I can go this thing alone. I can get someone to come to me. I want to go where I want to go and says, look, you saw what I did in Toronto. Now, you think they're going to win another championship without me? No. But if you got Paul George to come, they're for real. Their bench, what makes them so good, Skip, I think with any team, football, basketball, baseball, doesn't matter, if you know your role. Lou Williams knows what he is. Lou Williams is a bench player, but says, I'm going to play 35, 40 minutes. Montrezl Harrell, I'm going to play 35, 40 minutes.
But that was not new to them last night. They've been doing that, right?
If you know your role and you can accept that. And Lou Williams out there said, man, I need to be a starter. Trez out there said, man, I need to be a starter, man. I need to be getting starter. No, bro. Do that. Kawhi is the guy, like you said, they can dump it down to him late in the ball game. And then you got him and Lou Williams, because Lou Williams can make shots too now. Lou Williams can take you off the bounds. Lou the real deal. He buckets. He rain bucket. He coming to the game. Oh, just go ahead and put him down for 15 because he gonna get you 15.
By the way, once upon a time he was a Laker.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
Stop, Skip. You got to rub it in. And we had Zubac.
Hasn't forgotten.
Zubac was 4 for 4 last night.
I know.
He made a couple plays.
Perfect,
Yeah. The Clippers are for real. The Clippers are for real, and it's going to take the Lakers, and it normally takes LeBron a little while. When LeBron changes team, Skip, it normally takes him a little while. Remember when he went to Miami? He went back to Cleveland. Last year, They still talking about why they still never got it right. I believe they're going to get it right. The Clippers are for real, but the West is for real. But it's only one game. You believe we're going to go 15 or 40 again between LeBron and AD? I don't.
Not too many.
By the way, I did have a chance to go look at the next 20 games the Lakers play, and you proposed a bet in our A block, our opening block of this show. I'm not going to show it to you because I looked at it.
Let me see.
I take the bet. You said they're going to go 18-2 in the next 20 games.
Woo,
17-3.
No, you started with 18-2.
But I said, no, I don't want that because we already lost this game. I said, now. 20-game moving forward, 17-3.
Because of the loss. Let me see. He did amend that.
Let me see what we got here.
It's kind of hard to read because it's fine print, but you got your glasses.
What are we worried about?
Oh, you got Dia. 17-3. Okay. 17-3.
How do you
Sniff it at it. Sniff it at it.
Yeah.
Do you like this, Chris? Does this worry you, this bet, this deal?
Well, it worries for him.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that.
You just said, you proclaimed, it takes LeBron a while.
It takes time.
Okay, done.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now it's time for me to make my statement.
Skip, what do you got?
I hate to admit this, but number 2 made a resounding C to shining C statement last night. And that was, I ain't afraid of no king. I think there's a new king in town. And the new king wears New Balance. And the new king dropped a commercial on the Lakers' heads last night, if not on the real king's head, according to you. And it proclaimed that this is Kawhi Town in that New Balance commercial. And it said, this is his city, and as it dropped, he was backing it up because, as you know, Lakers jump out like they're just on fire. They're going to make their statement, and it's 13-2. And guess who said no? Not in my new house. 7 straight baskets? Woo.
But that was in the second quarter. What you call him came in. It was Lou Williams and Trez that got them back in it.
But that's where the tables turned. 7 straight baskets.
Oh, in the second quarter, yeah.
Hey, and I saw a different body language from that guy. And again, I thought he was very lucky to win his championship last year. He got a lot of breaks, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, but he did it. And he was the finals MVP. And then he said, I'm going to take my talents to Southern California, where I'm from. But at the 11th hour, he shocked everybody at this table and everybody around the NBA world because he chose the other team. He left the Lakers high and dry. He stunned LeBron. He stunned AD. He stunned Jeannie and Rob and Linda and Kurt and everybody. They were shell-shocked because he chose the stepchild team, the Clippers. Who knew? And then he goes out last night, and it was clear he was the best player on the floor. Yeah. Even you would have to admit that.
He was.
And that's on offense and defense. And I got to hear it one more time. What Kenny Smith said after the game was resounding on Inside the NBA on TNT. If we could just hear the statement he made right after the game.
The only guy in the world who could actually do it did it tonight. Kawhi Leonard made LeBron James look athletic. There's not many guys that can contain him in key moments the way he did. We saw it last year, but there was no LeBron in the playoffs.
Right.
So I was like, oh, well, you're doing it, but you're not doing it against a guy who is the best at it.
Right.
Tonight, he did it against the guy who's the best at it.
Whew. Kenny Smith said, number 2 made LeBron James look not athletic. And obviously it's year 17, so he's not going to be quite as spry as he used to be. But still, that's a mouthful from Kenny Smith. Would you not agree, Mr. Sharpe?
It was, but I don't know what led him to say that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an accurate mouthful.
Right, because I didn't see LeBron really, maybe a couple of times he switched out on Kawhi, but LeBron was not in the mode of saying, I'm trying to get mine. They made an effort to try to get the ball to Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
That's what his mindset was. But okay, see? Now, you and Kenny Smith going to call Kawhi to get his butt cut next time they see each other.
Well, they see each other 3 more times. Good, you're on record.
You're responsible for this.
Hey, listen, number 2, he just says, bring it. That's what that commercial said, bring it, and then he's backing it up on the floor.
Okay.
I think he knows he's better than anybody the Lakers have. And you kept saying, who's going to guard AD? Well, guess what AD did money time down the stretch in the fourth quarter? Wait a second. He went 0 for 2. He only took 2 shots in the fourth quarter.
That's not enough.
And he scored 0 points with 1 rebound. That's your MVP. That's the fourth quarter. And what did I keep telling you? This spotlight is hot.
It's
Hollywood hot. I know, but it was the game.
No, it's
said
not.
Shannon Sharpe.
Oh, my goodness.
You said we're going to make a statement.
Okay, we didn't
Did
make
you
a
not?
statement.
Okay.
We didn't make a statement.
Got 81 more to make.
Okay.
We got 81. We got 81 more.
Did it
chances.
not feel like a opening night playoff game?
We're going to make it on Rudy Gobert.
Okay.
Utah playoff team.
You know, that team's pretty good.
We're going to beat the brakes off of them.
I'll add this about what Kenny said. LeBron spoke to LeBron after the game. He said he actually lost some weight going into the season. He said he feels as spry as he's ever been. So I don't know where to made LeBron look non-athletic. I'll have to look and keep an eye on that. But another thing I want to mention, Patrick Beverley.
Yeah.
So Patrick Beverley did his scrum interviews yesterday. Then right after that, he started talking out loud at his stall saying, now I'm waiting for these TV shows out here to start talking about the Clippers and to start giving us props instead of showing highlights of just LeBron and talking about just LeBron.
Okay.
So Patrick Beverley is one of the leaders of that team.
Absolutely.
The Clippers want this. They're out for blood. And basically they're getting tired of basically getting punked out of their due and their just due of us talking about them.
Correct.
And giving all the accolades and talking highlights and talking to LeBron James.
Yep.
And so
it starts with that man right there.
Oh, he contributes to that right there. I agree with you.
I have nothing but profound respect for Patrick Beverley because you don't make it to this level having to go through the avenues that he had to go through to get here. He's always going to be on his worst behavior, which means you must be on your best behavior. He's intense 100% of the time that he's on the court. You see him hound Quinn Cook. It doesn't matter. I saw him last night go to Doc Rivers when Danny Green was going off. He went and hit Doc in the chest. Doc, let me get him. It doesn't matter. In his mind, he want to guard Anthony Davis. When Anthony Davis was going off, he's 6 foot tall. Let me get 16.
Are you surprised? Is that a new thing? He's been doing this for 10 years, right?
No, he believes he's the stopper of all things good. Skip, what guy you know at 6 foot tall says, I want Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
I want Kevin Durant one-on-one.
He wanted him.
He was only start off on LeBron.
Yeah.
So speaking of LeBron looking somewhat non-athletic, can we see the low-light package of 4 mistakes that LeBron made in the fourth quarter? These are tone setters when you're looking for the king to take over that game, and it was sitting right there.
These are different from the ones last year that you had?
No, we know what these are. Let's see them again.
Okay.
Like there's the first turnover pass to Dwight. He just flips in the middle, and that's just a bad idea. This is a close game right here. Then he has a wide-open layup, and he airballs it basically. Shoots it completely over the iron. He does not draw iron on that. Then he fumbles the ball off his foot out of bounds. It's still a 4-point game, and this is with 2 minutes left. That's just a bad idea pass.
Not from that angle.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter.
Three of their 6.
And he manages 2 total points. So between AD and LeBron, fourth quarter, Staples, opening night statement, they combined for 2 points.
That's not good enough.
Okay, well, that's like outrageously wrong. Am I right?
It's one game, Skip. We got 81
Well, I mean,
more.
that's quite a game, right? How can you defend that?
Skip,
and you know what? I haven't even piled on. You made the point. We opened the show, and I didn't even bring up the fact there's no Paul George.
Yeah,
There's no Paul George.
We haven't really mentioned
but you make it. But see, and sometimes people are once they get this guy, Paul George and Kawhi plays the exact same position.
Okay, maybe there'll be some chemistry issues.
It might be because if you look, Kawhi performed better when he was in Toronto when there was no other superstar. So everybody knows their role. What's going to be Paul George's role?
I don't think Paul George has a superstar mentality. That's just me, because he does a lot of little things.
Once you get in that MVP conversation, what you think you are, Chris?
Yeah, he's up there. There'll be an adjustment period, but I would say this. If you're looking at just the offensive numbers, look at the starting 5 of the Clippers. It's pretty much similar to how the starting 5 of offensive production was last season.
Okay.
And then you look at that bench. The bench just blew it up.
Right.
When you add Paul George, that's going to even things out. That starting group is going to get more potent. You're going to get another 25, 30 from that line. And then that bench is still going to give you that production. And I like JaMychal Green.
So do
He's
I.
another guy who's tough, 3D type player, can guard multiple positions. Clippers are a problem. I picked preseason, I picked the Clippers to win the championship. But I also picked the Lakers to blow the Clippers out last night.
Yeah.
So the way they handled that moment, I know it's one game. I'm not trying to overreact, but the way they handled that moment when this was probably one of the most well-anticipated season openers
it was.
in a while.
Yep.
They handled that moment with grace, dignity.
They did.
And they wanted it. They out for blood.
Now, next time when they come back, it's going to be a staple. I mean, the Lakers will be home. Now, when you come back, I want to make sure you come back now.
Oh, he'll be.
I'll be here.
I want you to come back here. No, I want you to come back. No, I want you to be here. I want you to come back here.
You have to leave the door open for me to get in here.
Yeah, I'll make sure.
All right, I'll be at the door.
I'm going to leave a stick in the door. I'm going to leave it propped open for you.
So, quick thought on Uncle Dennis. Was he in all his glory after that game when you had a word with him?
He was shocked. We had dinner with him, but he was shocked that Kawhi played 33 minutes in the preseason. So he was shocked that Kawhi was able to do what he did last
33
night.
total minutes.
Yeah, 33 total
Yeah.
minutes in all the preseason. So he was kind of shocked and taken back that Kawhi was doing that. But, he raved about, some of the role players. These guys, like I said, and that's why I picked the Clippers to begin with, because all these guys know how to play together. And now you just add 2 stars to the equation. Opposed to the Lakers, most of everybody doesn't know how to play.
Avery Bradley, Danny Green, and JaVale, and Anthony Davis are new.
Everything is new. And so I think there'll be a all LA Western Conference Finals. And the Lakers definitely could surge and be the top team. But I'm just saying, I think the Clippers have an easier path because everybody knows their roles.
I also picked the Clippers to win it all, but I got Clippers Rockets in the conference finals.
And we know this guy doesn't agree with that one. But
Yeah, I would
what are
agree
you going to
if
do?
you had 2 basketballs in Houston, but you can only play with one.
No mercy.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis were not shy last night when discussing their attempts to lure Kawhi to the Lakers. AD said he was afraid he overstepped his boundaries when he found out Kawhi didn't like being recruited. And LeBron had no answers for why Kawhi would choose the Clippers over the Lakers. Take a listen.
What do you think swayed the decision for him?
How the hell can I answer that? I don't know. I don't know. Ask Kawhi. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I'm happy, though. Ask Kawhi. I have no idea what weighed the decision.
All right, Chris, how do you think LeBron and AD really feel about this?
Let obviously they wanted Kawhi Leonard. They both went in and tried their pitch. But I think the spoonful of sugar helped that. I don't know if that makes sense. Paul George going over there was the spoonful of sugar that helped the medicine go down.
Ooh,
if that makes any sense. Had Paul George not going there and he picked the Clippers, then that's when the medicine tastes bad. Right. That's when that's when it's that red stuff, that nasty medicine. You can't drink water afterwards. But no, I think that's what it really is, and I think it makes all the sense in the world. We know Kawhi Leonard, like, he doesn't like all the spotlight.
Right.
He doesn't like all the constant media attention, the drama, all of that. You're going to get that with the Lakers. Right. You're going to get the Lakers. It's the Lakers, and you're going to get that with playing with LeBron. And so if you could bring on another superstar on the team, it made all the sense in the world. So now you go over to the LA Clippers where you have a formidable championship caliber team on top of less media attention.
But it's going to come when they start. They keep going. If they're what you think they're going to be.
It's going to take time, though. It might not become what we think or what I think it may be in Kawhi's prime. This couldn't be a 10-year project to where we're looking at the Clippers in the same light as the Lakers. Now, that's going to take time. That's going to take multiple championships. Right. And so, that he can shy away from dealing with all that stuff right now by going over to the Clippers, playing basketball, and just, and kind of being guarded. That won't be the case if he chose the Lakers. So I think Paul George going over there kind of eased the pain of losing Kawhi to the Clippers. And, I think if he didn't, then I think that's when they would really tell you the truth.
Look, I think both guys would tell you, yes, we would have loved to have Kawhi because it basically would have made them unbeatable. LeBron, Kawhi, and Anthony Davis, I think they become an unbeatable trio, and you can basically just hand them the championship, barring something unforeseen. Injury is always the great equalizer, as we saw that with Golden State last year. Golden State still had an excellent chance. If Klay stays healthy, who knows what happens? That thing's probably going to go to Game 7, and in Game 7, anything can happen. But it didn't. at the end of the day, it's Kawhi's career. Kawhi went to where he felt he really wanted to go at the end of the day. As Chris said, he strikes me as a guy, he's very quiet, he's very reserved, he doesn't like a whole lot of noise. Well, when you go to the Lakers and you play with LeBron, if LeBron is in Alaska, you're going to hear noise. If LeBron is in Timbuktu, you're going to hear noise. LeBron with the Lakers, you're going to hear noise. And maybe Kawhi didn't want all of that. Now, I believe if they start winning games and they, all of a sudden they're, 30-5, the media is going to descend on the Clippers. He's going to have to deal with what he's never had to face before. He's in L.A. Although the Clippers are second to the Lakers, the media is going to come. He's going to have to deal with something he never had to deal with San Antonio. San Antonio will win and scale, but that's a small market. Toronto, ain't nobody get...
Agreed.
L.A. is a different animal.
Yep.
L.A. and New York is a different animal when it comes to sports. And Kawhi would have to deal with that.
Did he look like he was shrinking under the spotlight last night?
No. Skip, once you get on the court, it doesn't matter where you are.
I don't know about that. Ask AD how he felt in the fourth quarter last night.
So hold on.
I will skip on that, sir.
But here's let me ask you this. So it only matters in the fourth quarter. So he forgot that he was in L.A. in the first, second, and third quarter. But this point, damn, I'm in L.A. I ain't in New Orleans anymore.
I think that's exactly what happened.
I don't agree with Skip when you're talking about AD and that, but I do agree that where you play at does have an impact on how you play.
I think, but when you're a
certain players,
if you're a superstar, like Kevin Durant says, I'm a hooper. I'm Kevin Durant in Golden State, OKC, and when I come from this injury, I'm gonna be Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. Obviously, certain guys, Skip, but look, LeBron ain't losing any sleep. Yes, I'm sure he would have loved to have him, but LeBron is gonna sleep really well. They're gonna get this thing going, and they're gonna be about 21-4. It's all said and done.
They better be 17-3 over the next 20, or you lose.
That's all I need.
2 of those games are at San Antonio.
We'll beat the brakes up, y'all.
That'll be extra special.
That'll be interesting. Maybe we can get number 2 back for just a couple of games.
Exactly.
He owes us a couple, doesn't he?
He wants no parts of you and Pop.
Ship
he
has
wants
sailed.
no parts of you and Pop.
Agree.
I was shocked yesterday afternoon when I saw how much AD and LeBron kept talking at shoot-around yesterday about the recruitment and the failed recruitment of number 2, because it is over and done. He bamboozled them. He left them low and dry. He took them both for rides because he took their calls and he heard their pitches, and then at the 11th hour, like the earthquake that hit Southern California, he dropped an earthquake on Southern California about what was like an hour later after that big one we had. Not that it was a huge one, but it was pretty significant.
It was pretty big.
Okay. All right. So I know this is the Kumbaya NBA. This is the one LeBron has established as we are all friends. I also think LeBron knows keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right? But even Dwayne Wade last night on the pregame show on Inside the NBA, he's now a new member of their team, but he talked about, hey, I get the older guys that they didn't fraternize. We fraternize. We chose to do it this way.
Right.
We have dinner at each other's houses, even if we're on different teams, okay? I get that. But this guy's doing it a different way. This guy in that commercial, I don't care how you slice it, he called out LeBron. He took him on in that commercial with the little crown dangling on the keychain. Okay, that's a little shot. Maybe it's a big shot. And when the game ended last night, did he go try to hug LeBron or AD? No. He went and hugged Danny Green, who's his best buddy, right?
Yeah.
Security blanket that he took to Toronto with him.
But Charles Barkley was Jordan's best buddy. He ain't gonna hug him.
All right, but that was just that was off season.
But see, because here's the thing, though, Skip. You recognize that crown. If you just put a little hand down there, what is that? What's that symbol? So he got to try to get recognition of my guy.
Okay. Well, I think he's just saying there's a new king in town. Yeah. Well, what did the off-ramp say in the commercial? Kawhi Town.
Let me ask you a question.
That's a shot, man.
Name the time you seen a commercial, and the commercial said, "This is LeBron."
That was the most annoying part of it, right? That they introduced him.
Is that what I got to do, Chris?
We introduced LeBron.
This is LeBron.
Okay, but what is the subtitle? What's the subtitle say? I am the new king. That's what that said.
Did the old retire? Was he overthrown? I didn't think so.
I think last night was an overthrow.
Oh, my goodness. Skip,
I told you what I opened the show with. I saw a coronation last night.
One game.
Not passing the torch, passing the crown.
Every time I come here, you talk about one game. You're such a prisoner of the moment. And now you've become the very thing you despise, a prisoner of the moment, Skip.
He won the championship. He was the finals MVP, and he came and made a statement in what we all agree was a playoff atmosphere game one. As significant an opening night as this league has seen, I don't know, maybe forever. We'd have to go back and track that, but it'd be right up the top, right? And again, LeBron's still trying to be sort of touchy-feely. I love the guy, and I tried. I made my pitch, and then finally he got a little miffed at the question and said, don't bleep and ask me why, right? Why does LeBron curse so much in public? I'm like shocked. Every time he does it, I'm like, he just dropped an F-bomb.
But Skip,
come on, he's a role model. Don't do that.
You're asking one man to get into the mind of another man, and that's why he did something.
Well, he was trying. He talked, and AD just went on and on about it.
I'm surprised they engaged.
Okay, because at some point, don't you get a little mad about it? Don't you get a little angry and say...
Guess what happens? If I ask you ask me the question, and I snap, well, LeBron and AD mad they care why I didn't come. He answered the question, why are they still talking about it? So how did LeBron and AD win?
Okay, seriously, heart of hearts, do you think LeBron's mad about this? Do you think he took it personally?
No.
Why wouldn't he? Well, why? I wouldn't blame him. I blame if he didn't.
Yeah, but he also could have said, we're 3 months removed.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, what good does it do to talk about it? It's over.
Yes, Skip. Yes, you take it personal because you put your heart into it and you want him to come. Yeah, when the women turn me down and say, no, I don't want to go out with you, I take it, but you're damn right I did.
Right? But this was to live with you. You know, this is to be
I didn't want to date.
Not just go on a date.
I just wanted to date.
Commitment.
Yeah.
It's the move in.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. You ain't going to go on a date. I know you ain't going to move in with me. If you can't go on a date with me, you can't spend 3 hours. You expect to spend 3 months, 3 years.
Hey, listen, I know Shannon Sharpe sitting across from me, and if you'd been in these shoes and you try to recruit somebody to join you on the Broncos or Ravens, and at the 11th hour they went to Pittsburgh if you were in Baltimore, you'd be furious. You'd say,
let me tell you what I did. Look, I did. Mike asked me to call a guy one time.
Mike Shanahan.
Mike Shanahan, who's head coach, and we were trying to get this guy to come. He's a great defensive player.
Yep.
And I called him. I said, you want to win a championship? I said, if you want to win a championship, come here. I said, if you want to go make money, go somewhere else. Because we're about winning. He went somewhere else.
Did he make money?
He made money, but we kicked his ass.
Okay, good.
4 times.
I like that.
Okay, did you like kicking his ass?
I loved it.
Okay,
I said,
thank you.
You could have been here winning championships, but you took the money.
Now you're talking.
Take the L's.
Now you're talking the way LeBron should have talked yesterday. That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted him to say, "We're going to kick his ass." That's what I wanted to hear.
Hold on. So LeBron can't cuss, but Skip can say ass on
Well, he
in the
said
morning.
it first. I was quoting Shannon.
What a role model, Skip.
There's a big difference between ASS and F.
It's 8:17 in the morning, Skip.
I mean, look, Skip, obviously, when you make a pitch to someone, that means you're taking time out of your schedule to talk to this person. I mean, sometimes you have guys flying back in. You remember the Hampton 5, Skip? They boarded a plane and went to Hampton and talked and put their pitch in for Kevin Durant. Now, had LeBron did that, flew somewhere to meet with Kawhi, and then all of a sudden, can you imagine if they had done that and Kevin Durant said, I'm going back to OKC or I'm going somewhere else? Yeah, I'd have been ticked. You done took time out of my schedule.
He still should be ticked because they thought with all their hearts and souls, they thought he was a Laker. We all know that.
Yes, because here's the thing. What they didn't know is that, and nobody knew, Kawhi and Paul George had back-channel communication. And it'd have been very interesting to see. Had Paul George not come along, like Chris said, what would Kawhi actually have come alone without another superstar? I don't know.
I would guess not, but
we'll never know. We'll never know because Paul George did come.
This is going to be a fun
This is going to be...
I am looking forward to it, Chris. We will be seeing you plenty more. Thank you for the time. No mercy. So NFL.com released their latest offensive player rankings heading into Week 8. Russell Wilson remains at the top spot, while Ezekiel Elliott climbed one spot for the second straight week and is now at 4. Zeke's teammate, Dak Prescott, was not one of the top 5 quarterbacks to crack the top 15. Dak was also not one of the 4 players who were mentioned as being just outside the list. We are now joined by Fox Sports NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. Eric, good to have you. So here's the thing. Does Dak belong in the top 15, Eric?
Does he belong in there? Maybe, maybe not just yet. Maybe by the end of the season he belongs in there. Maybe not just yet.
End of the season, Skip.
End of the season. I'll say this much here, and I said this all along. Just like, what team did I pick last week?
You picked them.
Didn't I pick them?
Yeah.
How did I tell you they'd win?
I almost talked you out of it.
Yeah, I know you almost talked me out of it, and I said they'd win by doing what? Running the football.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott. That's the best player on that football team. The offensive line is healthy. Do I think? I just don't know about right now. You know what I do have a problem with? First of all, the guy who wrote the article is Derek Carr, played for the Texans.
David Carr.
David Carr played for the Texans.
Yep.
Played for the quarterback for the Texans. I just find that when I look at the list and I see Deshaun Watson at 8, and I don't see Patrick Mahomes on there.
He dropped him out.
Why?
Injury.
But still, injury, that don't mean you're still the top.
It still means he's just as talented.
Yeah, right. That don't take his talent away.
Interesting.
And then you have George Kittle. And look, you got George Kittle in front of Tom Brady. I mean, let's be for real. I just think this list is, it's a list.
I hear you.
It's a list, and I always say this. If people ask me, who are the greatest running backs to ever play? And I don't put myself in. I say, well, I'll tell you who I like my guys. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their list. And Dak not being on the list doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve to be on the list. I'm saying that. I think that right now I look at Dak as a game manager. I look at him as a guy that he's a good quarterback. Don't get me, I'm not saying he's bad. He's a really good quarterback. But the guy who really, to me, is the focal point of that football team, I know it's not the question, to me is Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
I mean, to me, and maybe he should be ahead of Dalvin Cook. I mean, I still think I like McCaffrey at 2. I do like that pick, and Russell Wilson at 1. I like that, but and not see Julio Jones on there. I'm like, Stephon Diggs. I mean, he's had some good games, and he wanted to leave at one point.
Julio just outside the top.
Yeah, but that's outside. Yeah. He's not in it. Outside.
Get what I see though. I know what guy that is on the list, and the guy that I told you the focal point of the offense. So what this list tells me, I don't know who wrote the list. But I guess someone else doesn't think that Dak numbers is as good as they appear because you put up those numbers against the Eagles. Aaron Rodgers had 422 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Eagles. Case Keenum, who once got benched for Dwayne Haskins, had 380 and 3 tubs. First cousin, 333, 4 tubs. Matt Ryan, they won one game. 320 and 3 tubs. Dak Prescott, 239, a tub and a pick. So in other words, Skip Bayless, what you're seeing is that when Zeke Elliott can run the football, he number 4, you win. When your guy throws all these yards or you play bad teams, you play Washington, bad. You play Miami, bad. You play the Giants, bad. You can win. But when you got to play, the rubber needs to meet the road if you want to win a game, put Zeke in.
So, here we go again. I cannot tell you how this just blows my mind. Yeah. I actually love it because my quarterback's going to love it because he's just going to keep making all y'all just eat that fried crow every Monday. You did pick them, but you picked them for the wrong reason because you say Zeke drives the train.
He does.
He does.
The quarterback, they'll go as far as my quarterback takes them, which is going to be a long way.
To 3 straight L's. That's what your quarterback took.
Once again, Dak Prescott is the most underappreciated, over-criticized quarterback in NFL history. And show me one who's done more than he has with less credit. It's always an excuse. Oh, it's the running back. My running back's really good. He had 90-something yards until a garbage time 16-yard run put him over 100. Wow, I'm impressed. I told you on Monday, I'm just not seeing it anymore from my running back because he's turning into a guy you knew very well and knew how he played. He's turning into Earl Campbell. That's what he looks like to me because he doesn't quite have that burst he had in his rookie year, certainly back to the Ohio State years when he just took over college football because he could take it to the house. And I saw him early on set the tone for the offense. He just flat out ran over Malcolm Jenkins. Can we see it real quick? Just this is just Zeke in all his glory right here. Boom!
Ooh.
Oh. Again, that's Earl Campbell-esque. And Earl was really good for a little while, right? Just for a while. But he didn't last that long, and I sure hope Zeke lasts longer than Earl did. But then there was a...
Now you keep running over there.
No, not doing that.
Tell him he did.
Look at that.
Not running like that.
Hey, and not many humans run over that safety like that because he's a tough man, and he's a big man, okay? And then what happened? There was a screen pass a little later in the game, and I thought as soon as it hit his hands, I thought he is gone. And a guy named Gary catches him from behind. This is a little swing pass. Just go. It's like you're running in sand. Maybe he's still running in Cabo. I don't know. In his mind, I don't know because there was a time in his life when that one, it would just be, the acceleration would just be, it's gone. And he gets caught from behind by a guy named Gary.
But Skip, think about this here. What did you say when he came out of Ohio State in his rookie year? What is this, Zeke? What is his fifth year coming up? Is his fifth year?
We in his fourth year.
Yeah. His fourth year?
Yeah.
And when you play in the NFL, those hits take a toll on your body.
Okay.
He's never going to be Zeke at 21 anymore. It's not going to happen.
Too many car crashes.
Too many of them. I mean, it happens to all of us. I mean, it happens to me. It happens. And you can feel it as it starts happening to you. That's just football. But when I look at the Cowboys, Zeke. Like when I look at the game that they played the Jets, they lost that football game. To me, Zeke had a great game. I mean, they were in the game really because of Zeke. And Dak brought them back, but because of the way he run the football. The running game, sometimes those 90 yards, those 80 yards, they don't look like they're much, but they're crucial.
Okay.
They really wear a defense down. Defense gets tired of, I got to chase this running back. I got to tackle him. Now I got to pass rush. Now I got to try to chase a Dak around. But that running game puts a toll on all of them. And I'm going to tell you, Zeke is still that guy. He really is.
I love Zeke, but I love my quarterback a little more. So help me out here. My quarterback still leads the whole league in QBR. Number one in QBR.
Based on the first three games.
Based on the first 3 games.
He is third in passing yards in the whole league. He's third in completion percentage in the whole league. And he can't bust the top 15, says
garbage.
David Carr.
David Carr. 453 he got in garbage against Green Bay.
Garbage. He brought him back within an onside kick of getting back to the game from 31 to 3.
31-3 is over.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, it wasn't over until my kicker missed a chip shot. It would have come down to a...
the guy that got the most 60-yard plays.
Okay, so explain this to me. Number 14 on David Carr's list is Chris Godwin.
Godwin, I know.
Chris Godwin, a receiver for Tampa Bay, which is now an outstanding 2-4. A threat to win it all in the NFL.
But
Probably
he's balling.
not. Yeah, he's balling. Chris Godwin. So right now, if you put Chris Godwin on the market and Dak Prescott on the market, who would most GMs choose? I'm pretty sure they would jump at my quarterback.
Well,
because he is really
Lamar
good.
Jackson.
Would you?
I agree with that. I said that. I have it down like, how's Chris Godwin? To me, a guy that's underrated, Nick Chubb.
Okay, well, he made 15.
And he should be higher than that, I think, 15.
Okay.
But
all right. Well, you know how I feel. The quarterback is always more valuable than the running back by virtue of the position they play. It's the hardest position to play.
But you know what, ED? I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
So put a lot more pressure and a lot more blame on Dak for those 3 L's. Since you say he plays the most important position, I need you to give him some of that blame.
He was not the reason they lost those games. Well, he wasn't. He threw for 463. Remember, football is actually it's 4 quarters.
Garbage.
It goes 4 quarters, and you can just keep going for 4 quarters. And in the second half, he threw for 329. How many quarterbacks are even capable of that?
A lot of them.
Oh,
garbage time.
Stop it.
Okay, in the first half, in 3 games, how you get 9 points if you that dude?
Well, when you throw one to Amari Cooper and it's right there, and he muffs it into an interception, the guy returns it 50 yards. That's how you don't score.
And Michael Gallup, you keep every single week, Skip, for the last, you got an interception.
Okay, at the Jets, Michael Gallup didn't drop 1 or 2. He dropped 3 passes.
Throwing them behind him.
Okay, no, they hit him right in the hands.
I mean, guy got to be flat.
Through the Jets game. Wait a second. What receiving corps led the whole league in drop passes? Dallas's.
Yeah, when you play.
That's why he's number one in QBR. QBR says, I'm going to give you a break for that one and that one and that one.
What about all the interceptions? They don't give him a break.
Yeah, like the Hail Mary he threw at the end of the game.
I want to ask you a question, Skip. So you see the list here. Where do you think Dak should be?
He's a quarterback.
Okay,
he should be like 6 or 7. I'd put him ahead of Zeke. He's been more valuable.
Come on, Skip.
Yep, he just has. Okay,
No
so
way.
if Zeke is 4, then he should be 3.
So you're going to put him ahead of him?
What did you see on Sunday night? You saw a tour de force.
I saw Zeke running.
Oh, yeah. I saw Dak throw it to Amari.
Zeke running hard. Running over Malcolm Jenkins.
He made all the big plays in that game.
Zeke,
and by the way, who ran it into the end zone to clinch the game? I think my quarterback did. Did you see that? Or maybe you'd fallen asleep by then. Or maybe you turned it off because you couldn't stomach it anymore.
I did.
Right?
Well, I'll say this here. You know, when you can run the football, that play action that they set up.
I got it. I love him.
Thank you.
I love him.
Thank you.
Tom Brady had the #1 rushing attack in the playoffs last year. You don't think that helped? Sure it did.
Of course it helped.
Takes that.
And with a 26 QBR in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, boy, he had a QBR against those Chargers, though, didn't he?
I ain't talking about the
And
Chargers.
he had an overtime at Kansas City, didn't he?
And who had the high QBR in the Chiefs game? Him or my homeboy?
Well, who won the game?
So
That
won
the game.
Tom Brady came in at 7 here, so I don't know. I'm surprised at what you're saying about Dak.
No mercy.
The Clippers took down the Lakers 112-102 last night, but both teams were missing key players. Rajon Rondo and Kyle Kuzma were both inactive for the Lakers, and Paul George was out for the Clippers. LeBron James spoke after the game on how both teams have room to improve. Take a listen.
The NBA is back, and that's what everybody's trying to have the narrative of a rivalry game, and it is a huge test. I think both teams are not who they want to be. We have a lot of room to improve. We're a new group that's coming together. We have a new coaching staff. We have a new system.
Shannon, which team will benefit more from getting their roster back to full strength?
Skip, I think the easy answer that everybody thinks is going to be the Clippers because of Paul George is obviously the better of the players that would be coming back. But I think because he and Kawhi played the same position, they're going to have to figure this chemistry thing out. I believe it's going to be the Lakers because I believe whether you slide Kuzma into the starting lineup or you let him come off the bench, they need scoring off the bench. And the thing that the Clippers, because if you look at the scoring, the starters for the Clippers, Skip, they only scored about maybe 50 points, a little over 50 points. And then you got the bench that did the heavy lifting. So, and the Lakers, they got 19 points from their bench. That's not nearly enough. So if you slide Kuzma to the bench, that's an 18-point score. If you put Kuzma in the starting lineup and you slide Avery Bradley, that's more production coming off the bench. So you need production coming off the bench, and it also provides you depth. So for me, I think it's going to be the Lakers. It's going to, as LeBron mentioned, it's going to take them a little longer. That's the same system. Kawhi was really the only guy that they've had to plug in. Shamet, Zubats, Patrick Beverly, they've been there. Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, those guys have been there. So for me, Skip, I honestly believe that the Lakers, that once they get their piece, and Rondo, LeBron played primarily on the ball. He didn't play off the ball, I don't believe, at any point last night. Tried it and he turned it over. So you get Rondo back, so now you have another ball handler because we know the combination that happened in New Orleans, Rondo and AD. That was a great, pick and roll. They can do a lot of different things. And so I think when you get Kuzma, you get Rondo back, I think that's going to be a bigger benefit to the Lakers than having Paul George come back to the Clippers.
Completely disagree. Who did number 2 handpick to join him with the Clippers? He went out of his way to say, I want that guy. Yeah. What did Doc say when they met with number 2 up in Malibu, I think? I want that guy. Oh, okay. And he went and got that guy.
Right.
Well, then I'm pretty sure he's pretty sure he can play with that guy because they can just play on opposite wings, and they both love to defend. Paul George loves to defend.
Yeah.
He's got it in his blood.
Oh, he's a
He is as disruptive a defender as we see in the league because he is great at deflections.
Yes.
He led the league in deflections, just tipping the ball up in the air, long, quick, and defensive-minded. Yep. So they're the same guy, but you can just put them on opposite wings on defense. They don't have to blend you know, when they're playing defense, they can just be cogs in the attack,
Yeah, but
right?
you got to play offense too,
Okay, all right. I think they'll be just fine because I don't see Paul as a selfish guy. I just don't. I think he'll blend right in on offense, and they'll all lean on each other because you can lean on your bench. You don't have to play 38 minutes a night.
No.
You can play 30 or 31 and let those other guys hold it down, if
Right.
not take it up a notch.
Right.
So to me, when I look at the Lakers, Kuzma is the X factor. They could have used Kuzma. Now, Danny Green had like a career night last night shooting, but here's the problem with Kyle Kuzma. This is what's great and bad about him. He has never met a shot he didn't love. Not like, he loves every shot, and he will take every shot. Are you sure you can blend him right in? Because sometimes he's hard to find the right chemical fit with, right? So is he going to drive them a little crazy? Because he'll just come off the bench when they may start him. I don't know, but he'll just come out firing, right? Because he did last year.
Yeah, I think because he's going to be out for such an extended period of time, Skip, I think you bring him off the bench. I don't think you just insert him in the lineup because how many minutes do you actually think he can play?
Okay, and he says he has done nothing for 2 months because he's got a bad foot injury that he heard playing and practicing for Team USA.
Right.
And he still said yesterday, I just haven't been able to do anything.
Right.
So I don't even know what you're projecting when he's going to come back.
Right. They didn't put a timetable on it.
So what did I see last night? I saw LeBron. This stunned me because I was looking forward to LeBron running the point. It got a little slow motion. It got a little walking dribble, and then I'm just going to lob it over here to AD, and he can go 1-on-2 and create a shot. And sometimes in the first half, he pulled that off.
Right.
I'm starting to wonder, is Rondo maybe the better fit at point guard where you can get LeBron more involved if he goes to one wing and AD goes to the other?
Right.
And you start actually running sets, running plays?
Well, that might be the possibility, Skip, but I think the thing is, like as you mentioned, it's so hard to constantly score in the half-court set.
Yeah.
You got to try to get easy baskets. You got to try to get the ball off the rim and try to push it up the court. And they were outscored in fast break points. Lakers only had 5. The Clippers had 22.
They just played slow.
Right.
With LeBron.
I was you got to get easy buckets. You got to get
by the way,
points.
Rondo has a calf injury, and you know what happens with calves. I don't know how long that's going to take.
Exactly.
Which brings me to the one X factor, and people will laugh when I bring this up, but Kawhi Leonard went out of his way on TNT after the game to say we're missing a couple of pieces, and he referred to Rodney McGruder as a great defender who can space the floor.
Right.
So you don't think that's going to help? He's day-to-day with an ankle injury.
Right.
You don't think that's going to make their depth even stronger defensively? Wow.
Skip.
Okay.
Now, they're going to be an elite defensive team.
Yep.
Because even if Magruder doesn't come back anytime soon, you get Paul George, elite defender. You get Kawhi, an elite defender. And you get Pat Bev, he might be the best guard defender in all of basketball. So you get those guys. Trez, he's going to challenge you at the rim. He'll take a charge. So they're an elite defensive team without Magruder. So we already knew they were going to be elite. Now, if they're going to get buckets like they got last night, they're going to get Harkless hitting buckets like that. And they get these other guys chipping in. Michael Green, Lou Williams can shoot the three. If they get those guys, well, all bets are off for me.
Landry Shamet can shoot.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh may be eyeing a return to the NFL. According to a report, Harbaugh's reps have been testing the waters to see if there's any interest in the head coach. However, this morning, Harbaugh issued a statement to his players' parents saying the reports are, quote, total crap, and that he doesn't even have a representative or an agent. So, Shannon, should an NFL team hire Harbaugh?
No. Skip, because he has a short shelf life. If he goes to a rebuilding situation, by the time he starts to get it turned around, you're sick of him. He grinds on people. And when he was and everybody's like, well, you see what he did with Stanford? Yep. And that's how he got the job at San Francisco. And you see what he's doing at Michigan? You see what happened in Skip, what you're starting to see when he has a team in Michigan and they have the same, and the other opposing team has the same level of talent, he loses. He hadn't beat Michigan State, he hadn't beat Ohio State yet. Beat Michigan State, what, once? So at some point in time in the NFL is what? All the teams are talented. And the team that he had in San Francisco was immensely talented. People don't realize just how talented that football team was, Skip. They were loaded. They were a big, physical football team. But, Skip, he starts to grind on you. I know people that played under him and coached with him. He grinds on you. And if after a while you're like, I'm ready to either he go his way or I go my way, but we need to separate. And that's what happens.
If I owned an NFL team and I was struggling, I would jump at the chance to hire Jim Harbaugh to take over my franchise.
Michigan did that. How did he look?
Well, that's a college team.
Oh.
And by the way, when he started at the University of San Diego, he immediately turned that program completely around. And then he goes to Stanford and completely turned that program around. And then he goes to the 49ers and he goes the first 3 years to the NFC Championship game. And he won one of them and nearly won a Super Bowl. It cost him, at the end of the game, there was a controversial non-call. They could have won that game, the Super Bowl. This is the man. This is what shocks me about you. But this is the man who had the vision and guts to elevate Colin Kaepernick into the starting lineup in place of Alex Smith at midseason and stick with him and go all the way to the last play of the Super Bowl that should have been called pass interference, and I believe they would have won the game. So all he did was go, as the San Francisco coach, 44-19-1. Is that good?
Yeah.
That's great. He went 5-3 in the postseason. And for what it's worth, he's 43-16 at Michigan, but obviously he has not beaten any of the good teams. He's 1-3 in bowl games.
And 1-10 against top 10 teams.
I get that. I don't know why it went wrong because that's his alma mater, and I thought he was going home to turn it around.
But Skip, here's the thing. But in San Francisco, he had that great record, but then what happened? He wore on people. Okay. And they couldn't wait to get him up out of there.
If I owned a team and I thought I could get 3 great years out of him, I'd let him wear on me all he wanted to.
But here's the thing, Skip. If you're in a rebuild, by the time he starts to you see any resemblance of it turning around, you're ready for him to go. Because like you said, you read his resume in San Francisco, and they couldn't wait to get him up out of there. So what does that tell you, Skip? What is that telling you?
That they didn't want him gone for the first 3 years because they were rolling.
Exactly.
Right?
So the first 3 years should have brought him, at least another 2-3 years. But they're like, nah, we good.
I'm shocked at what he hasn't been able to do at Michigan because I thought he could recruit the top prospects from around the country, and his recruiting methods were a little wacky to the point I think he started turning kids off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want somebody to hold the chain mark at your ball game or go in your treehouse, that's your guy. But if you want to play for the national championship, go on down there and see St. Nick or go see Dabo.
They have a chance
go see Lincoln Riley.
to get back on track this weekend. They're playing Notre Dame, 9th-ranked Notre Dame. That's a tough
That's a big deal.
They ain't getting no track.
That's a hot seat game if
They're
they
not
lose
getting
that
no
at
track.
home.
You want Michigan?
No. I don't.
Well, I thought
what do you mean?
Wait a second. I already cleaned you out on Michigan last year.
Hold on. Tell about
you bet me 5 cases that they would lose, 5 games?
Hold on. This is what I don't understand about you. You don't want to take Michigan, but if you own the team, you're going to hire him as your coach.
Do you realize how many top draft picks they lost on defense? And I knew they had them last year, which is why I took that bet.
That's why I wouldn't hire him. With all those top draft picks, he ain't win nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't hire him, Jenny.
And they were all hurt at the Ohio State.
Lord,
were they not?
Injured.
They were injured.
So the whole year?
No, at Ohio State, they're all hurt or they got hurt during the game.
Bush
Even Devin
injured.
Bush got injured.
Yeah, that was a tough
David
one.
Long got injured. Chase Winovich was already injured.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
No, I'm not.
There were injuries.
What about the previous year? What about the previous year?
I can't defend him there,
If
but I
they
can
gotta
sure
win this
defend him at
weekend,
the 49ers.
That would be big for them to get back on track in terms of his reputation.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. The Browns traveled to New England this week, and Odell Beckham Jr. has a unique gift for Tom Brady. OBJ said he has goat-haired cleats that he will give to Brady for being the true GOAT. Shannon, is this a good idea or a bad one?
This is a terrible idea, Skip. Are you going to compete against Tom Brady or are you going to praise him?
Good question.
What the hell is this? Skip, is this where we are now?
Yes.
That guys bring gifts to guys that we're competing. Man, I wish a teammate would have brought something to another team. Boy, look here, it'd have been hell to play in that locker room. You ain't bringing nothing. You bringing an ass whipping for Tom Brady. That's what Tom Brady go get. You bringing some goat. Skip, if you want to do something like that, Skip, send it to him.
Yeah.
But don't be bringing that to no game. But you see what he did? He already mentioned it. So what it's about, Skip.
He is seeking fame
attention?
by association, right? Fame by association.
I mean, we're talking about it.
And by the way, Tom Brady can grow his own goat hair because he's got the goat gene, right? But this is Odell. You know what?
This is not Odell.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield should not be happy about this because he's thinking about how much time did he invest in having these shoes made. And again, he announces it to the media so he can get some attention because he's glomming on to Brady's greatness. Oh, I'm going to present him. Really? Are you going to?
For what?
Huh. You going to honor him or to beat him?
That's what I need to know, Skip, man. That's what I need to know. So this is what we come to. Skip, I get it now. You know, the guys are closer now. They know each other. A lot of these guys went to the same college. I get all that. But they're going too far with this.
If you ask for the jersey after the game, I'm okay with that.
That's different.
But if you want to give him the shoes, you don't have to mention it. If Tom wants to mention you gifted him these shoes, let him mention it.
Okay.
Now you making it about you.
Always getting us talking.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.